Hello, welcome to my jewelry making class. So today I'm going to be showing how to make one of my favorite pairs of earrings, which are this like dangle hoop. And I have all the materials laid out for things that you will need, the supplies. So starting off, first I have some pliers. So I have a round nosed plier, and then this is more flattened. And then I also have a pair of wire cutters. Along with that, I have some wire for this. There are two different types of wire. This is 18 gauge, and then this one is either 24 or 32. As you can tell, there's a bit of a size difference. This one's thicker, this one's thinner. And so like a little tip is that the lower the number, the thicker the wire, just to keep in mind with that. Yeah, and then I also have a little block of metal and then a hammer, which I'll explain the use of it later when, why I'm using it. And then I also have a earring piece like this that you'll need. And then on top of that, you'll also need a head pin, which looks like a strip of wire, and it just has a little, if it'll even focus, but you can kind of tell there's a little part at the end that stops the beads. So it'll be that, and that'll be to make this little bead wrap of the shell, which can be optional. I like it on mine because it adds like some style and also a nice little dangle, and I like the length of just big earrings in general. And then I have this, just like a cap to something, anything that's sort of rounded. You can pick the size. I also have this other little cap. It's smaller depending on how big you want your earrings to be. And then finally I have my stones. So there's this coral here, if I can even grab it, which you can see. And then I also have some turquoise, which is also strung. These ones are ones that I just got at Joann's. They also have them at Hobby Lobby. Pretty much all these materials you can get at Joann's or Hobby Lobby. But yeah, these are just like alternatives to the real stones, like I had used in those earrings. So with an overview of all the materials, I'm just gonna get right into it. So one of the first things I'll show you how to make this little bead wrap thing here. You'll take the head pin, and I'm only making 1/2 of the set, so obviously you'll need to just double it for if you're making 2 earrings for both your ears. Yeah, so what you want to do is just string it in. It should stop like that. And then what I'll do is I'll take the round pliers and just grip it like this, and then you just bend it over so it's at a 90-degree angle, and then I just twist where I'm holding it to shift it like this, and then from there you wrap the wire around it, and so it should look a little like this. And then from that you just want to wrap it around that one piece, making sure that you keep it as tight as you can against it. I usually just go a couple rounds, that's 3-ish around, and then just cut it. And then what you'll do is you grab onto this, and there's like a little, that extra piece that's kind of hanging, and you just grab the flatter pliers and just clamp it down into the thing, so that it looks more like neater and also doesn't catch on anything or like poke you. That's like a quick little tutorial on how to make that. So then what you'll do is you'll grab the 16 gauge wire, the thicker wire, and like it's already coiled, this is already pre-coiled, so then what I'll do is I'll just get like one round of it. So then you have like a circle here. And then what I do is I'll get this and just wrap it around like that. And then with the flat pliers, grab this one side and just bend it up like that. And then see if you wanted, now would be before we start wrapping it, if you wanted this added on, just quickly loop it into the thing like that. And then you'll just use this extra piece here and start wrapping it around. And then also remember to try to keep it tight. And then I'll just use the pliers to like make sure that oh, you don't really need this anymore, but make sure that you're keeping it like this is kind of looser. So then I'll just get the pliers and just pull it down more so it's tighter. Right, and then just like wrap it a couple times. Now that's probably good. And then I'll just cut off the excess. And then you'll do the same thing where you just flatten that piece down like so. There we go. So then you should have something a little like this. Oops. Right. And then what you can do with this leftover piece is I'll grab the round nose and then just like fold it over a little bit, grip onto it depending on your length. You'll hold it at a different point, and then you just wrap it around like that. So then you'll have the little loop, and then just grab the pliers and you cut it. And then just grab these again because it'll look a little like a hook. And then you just pull it and close it in as best as you can. So that's what that'll look like so far. And then what we will do with the shape from this is where I will grab, you can also, depending on your preference, you can leave it like this more rounded, or like I kind of like more of a teardrop shape, so then it looks more, yeah, more of a teardrop. And then what you'll do is, it's kind of optional if you don't have the materials, that's totally fine. I know that hammering it can add more of like a styling piece, like add more style and texture to it, but then it'll also sort of strengthen that wire and make it less like bendy. Because then, let me show you a quick little, because you can kind of see just based off the lighting how there's some texture added onto it, and it's definitely like a little more flattened from this example piece. I'm just gonna slide some of this stuff over. So then what I'll do is I literally just move this piece around the beaded thing so it's just not in the way when you hammer it. And then this side, it can be more flattened if you use this end, or this end, it'll give it more like of a texture like that one has. So, but I'm just going to use this more flatter side. do a little bit on the other side too really quick. Boom. So then it should look a little like this. I don't know if you can tell. Hopefully by self-aligning you can see it's a little more flattened. Let me just fix my teardrop shape back a little. So then you have this so far. Pretty good. Hopefully I didn't go through that too quickly, but I'm sure you can always rewind the video, stop at any point to go through it again. Next I will be adding this little, as you can see, this little final strand part to it. And all it is you grab this thinner wire. It's up to you in the length, just as long as it's not too short. And then is you grab the strand and then just like line it up just to see how many you need, and then would take it off as such. So I kind of had already done that. And then you just string it on. While I'm doing that, I'm just gonna, I guess I should probably talk about my little bit of background, I guess. So one of the things that had sort of inspired me to make jewelry is that like I've always had like a love for jewelry and wearing stuff that I thought looked nice. But one of the things was like just like Navajo jewelry in general, and how there's always just a lot of very beautiful pieces that are made by different Navajo artists. And so that's kind of one of the things that's inspired me, is like I want to like at some point learn how to make big silver pieces and like rings and stuff like that. But as of right now, I mainly just make like wire wrapped earrings like this, or I'll do little rings or bracelets, and I make a lot of pendants too. So I like collecting different stones and stuff that I think would make really good wire wrapped pendants. And some of the things, a little subtle plug, that you can see some of the stuff that I've made on my Instagram account. I'm pretty sure it's at Ayebah Art. Just some of the stuff hasn't been updated really in a long time, but it's just like a little showcase of things that I made. But yeah. And I guess just a little bit of background on like significance of like Navajo jewelry. So when Navajos make jewelry, they use the stones, whether that be white shell, turquoise, abalone, or black jet, which are the main 4 stones that represent the 4 sacred mountains and directions. So that would be white shell is the white east mountain. Turquoise would be blue, and that's the south. Abalone is yellow, which is west, and then black, which is black jet, and that's the north. Actually, I have a tattoo. It's really backwards, but that's it shows those 4 mountains. And as well as like other precious stones and such that give different colors. So then what I did is just I wrapped it around. I don't know if it'll focus. I wrapped it around a couple times, and then you just do the thing where once you cut it, you just use the pliers to fix it again so that it doesn't tuck the end in, so it doesn't snaggle on anything, and also doesn't like poke you or whatever. But yeah, back to the thing I was saying, that the different colors of the stones, they represent a connection to the stories and songs and life ways which means it represents self-awareness and understanding, and that the mountains and directions carry our thinking, feelings, planning, actions, and reflection. Oh, I'm missing like a stone on this. Let me just quick add this. And that also the mountains, as the mountains are adorned with these stones, the like Navajo Diné people adorn ourselves with it just as they do, because there are many meanings to the mountains, but in general it's sort of a reminder of how we live, and that the jewelry helps to remind of those things, as well as like, you know, like a form of protection, I guess, as well. So I sort of finished wrapping that a little bit, and I will cut it. But that's just a little bit of background that I had to share. And if there's any sort of other questions, to just drop it in the chat, and I'll try to answer those when possible. So then now that I'm finished with that, it's pretty much just making sure that they're lined up for the most part. And then that's pretty much it for the earring piece. And then the finishing touch is just to add on this final part that you put into your ear. What I did was I just, if it'll focus, I just used the plier to like unhook it so that this can loop through, and then just grab the pliers again and close it in just like that. And then there you have it. That's the finished earring, what it should look like, at least on my end. Yeah, so I have both a coral version and a turquoise version. And then if that is a little too difficult or hard to follow, another little suggestion you can do from me is, if you use one of those head pins, you can literally just grab some of this and strand it on onto the head pin. You can kind of see the piece, and then you do that same wrap that I did around each of this, and also with like this shell piece on the end, and then just loop it in, and that's another type of jewelry you can have. I hope that this was informative and fun, and that you are able to accomplish making your own earrings. And yeah, thank you for watching.